You see people vaping everywhere now. E-cigarettes in various shapes and sizes appear to have taken over from the real thing, something that Public Health England is very keen on. But Professor Martin McKee of the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine says the English authorities' endorsement of vaping is out of step with the rest of the world. In the US, several states have launched campaigns to warn teenagers about the risks of nicotine addiction. And some areas like San Francisco have banned them outright. Professor McKee says Public Health England has chosen to ignore the risks. I spoke to him earlier. And to Deborah Arnott, the Chief Executive of Action on Smoking and Health, a charity that works to eliminate the harm caused by tobacco.
My concerns are about these products being promoted, given the very limited evidence that they're effective in helping people to quit, the uncertainty about the long-term health effects, and particularly the evidence from the United States, where one particular product has been marketed much more aggressively, that they are leading to a very steep rise in the use of nicotine among young people. There we're seeing an increase between 2017 and 2018 from about 10% of adolescents up to about 20%. We don't have good up-to-date data from the UK yet, but we're certainly hearing a lot of reports from school teachers and others that these particular products, the Juul product, are capturing a growing share of the market among young people.
Deborah Arnott, are you convinced that actually vaping helps people get off smoking?
Yes, as part of a comprehensive strategy, and Martin and I agree completely that getting rid of smoking is the most important thing we can do. And certainly research that Martin didn't cite, a recently published randomised controlled trial, showed that it's twice as successful as traditional nicotine gum and patches long-term in helping smokers quit. Martin's main concern seems to be about youth uptake, and certainly the evidence from the UK is not that we're seeing significant youth uptake. I can't comment about the US, but in the UK we have some of the strictest tobacco regulations in the world, and they're working to both reduce the number of smokers and to allow e-cigarettes to work as they should be working to help adult smokers quit and not to addict a new generation of young people.
And what about dualing, which is where you can have flavours added to the nicotine, and you can even remove the nicotine and just have the flavours?
That's not unique to Juul, which is just one product, and it's one of a number of those sorts of products that are on the market in the UK. We're not seeing significant uptake. There is a sort of alarmist approach, and in America they talk about an epidemic of e-cigarette use amongst young people. Public Health England has been much more sensible. It actually promotes vaping only for adult smokers and shows boring pictures of middle-aged men vaping, whereas in the US they have websites showing young people vaping and actually doing what they say they don't want to do, which is encouraging young people to believe that this is something common and cool to do.
Professor Martin McKee, do you think Public Health England is being sensible?
They have been challenged very widely internationally. England is out of line with the rest of the world. I see only this morning, in fact, that in India, the state of Maharashtra has banned the sale altogether, and we're seeing that more and more across the world.
Deborah Arnott?
Well, I'm astounded that Martin thinks it's sensible to ban e-cigarettes while leaving smoked tobacco legal, when by any standard vaping is far less harmful than smoking. Unlike vaping, smoking delivers toxic tar and carbon monoxide and is responsible for the premature deaths of around 100,000 people a year in the UK.
Professor
it's
McKee,
the smoking cigarettes that kills, not the nicotine, which is why nicotine is licensed as a medicinal drug to help smokers quit.
I certainly accept that cigarettes are worse than vaping, but e-cigarettes contain a number of other chemicals, particularly flavourings that you don't get in conventional cigarettes.
What about those flavourings? Because a lot of parents, a lot of people may be reassured that they're actually just smoking something that perhaps tastes a little bit of apple or something, and they don't even necessarily have nicotine in it. Are you saying that that could be dangerous?
I'm saying that we don't know. These products have not been tested by inhalation. We take a lot of these substances into our body by eating them. We've evolved over millennia for that to happen, but we haven't evolved to inhale these products. We simply have no idea. But the evidence that we do have from the respiratory physicians is certainly raising a number of concerns.
Well, I think that depends which respiratory physicians you talk to, Martin. And the point about flavourings is that they are in very tiny quantities. It's the nicotine that's the active drug. No one is saying that e-cigarettes are safe, and certainly no one in the UK is encouraging young people to take up vaping. This is something for adult smokers to do to reduce their risks.
But are we out of step with the rest of the world in our approach
Well,
to them?
no, our regulatory system is in line with the EU and in line with WHO recommendations. We're not doing anything different. In fact, in some ways we go further because we have an age of sale, which is not a requirement at EU level.
So,
of
Professor
18.
Martin McKee, that would suggest that you are being alarmist then.
No, I don't think it does. I mean, the Federation of International Respiratory Societies has come out against e-cigarettes. You look at the Australian Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, you look at the Food and Drugs Administration in the United States, look at the breadth of international opinion, and it is all quite different.
It's a unified position within the UK, and it's also a position that Canada and New Zealand are moving to support as the evidence grows that these products, if regulated properly, can help adult smokers quit without addicting new generations of young smokers.
Deborah Arnott from Action on Smoking and Health, and Professor McKee, who is from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine.